Dhamma, the empire without swords. The war drums had fallen silent, not because the world had grown peaceful, but because Ashoka no longer listened to them. From the high terraces of Pataliputra, the emperor watched the Ganga move with indifferent grace. The river had seen dynasties rise and collapse long before his grandfather had dreamed of empire. It would continue long after his name faded. Power, Ashoka thought, is a loud thing only at the beginning. Once he had believed power must announce itself through marching armies, burning cities, and the unmistakable certainty of fear. That belief had built him an empire stretching farther than any Mauryan king had ruled before, and yet it had left him empty. The weight of victory. The ministers still bowed deeply when Ashoka entered the council hall. The generals still stood at attention, awaiting orders that never came. One of them finally spoke carefully. Devanampiya, the general said, using the honorific the court preferred. The frontier kingdoms are quiet. This is the moment to advance. Ashoka did not answer immediately. Advance to where? He wondered. And for what? Tell me, he said at last. When a man has conquered the world, what remains for him to conquer? The council fell silent. Ashoka rose and walked toward the map of the empire. His finger traced the borders, not with pride, but with a strange sense of distance. There will be no further wars, he said calmly. Not in my name. Dhamma. The monks called it Dhamma. Not a god, not a ritual, not a temple, a way of living. Ashoka listened to them as he once listened to generals. But where the generals had spoken of enemies and victories, the monks spoke of restraint, compassion, and responsibility. Late one evening, Ashoka asked one of them, "If I abandon conquest, will the world not see me as weak?" The monk smiled gently. "Only those who rule by fear need strength to be loud," he replied. "Those who rule by conscience are heard even in silence." That night, Ashoka wrote the first of what would become his edicts, not laws, reflections. The empire that learned to speak. Ashoka knew words spoken could be forgotten. Stone could not. Across hills, cliffs, and crossroads, workers carved his thoughts into living rock. A young scribe once asked, "Should we write the punishments for disobedience, Majesty?" Ashoka shook his head. "No," he said, "write what obedience should feel like." And so the empire read messages unlike any it had known before. That prisoners deserved mercy, that servants deserved dignity, that animals deserved protection, that all faiths deserved respect. An empire did not change overnight, but something shifted. Fear loosened its grip. Tolerance in a divided world. Ashoka ruled Buddhists and Brahmins, Jains and Ajivikas, Greeks and Persians. He chose not to rank them. In one edict, he warned, "He who honors his own faith while condemning another does harm to his own religion." A minister once protested, "Sire, unity requires one belief." Ashoka replied, "Unity requires understanding. Uniformity requires force." The minister bowed, unconvinced, but the edict was carved anyway. Care as governance. Roads were built not only for armies but for travelers. Trees were planted along highways to offer shade. Wells were dug where none had existed. Hospitals rose not just for men but also for animals. When a courtier questioned the expense, Ashoka answered simply, What is the use of ruling people if we do not care whether they suffer? Even the hunt was restrained. Slaughter was limited. Forests were protected. The empire learned a new language, one of care. Messages. Instead of armies, envoys replaced generals. To Sri Lanka sailed monks, not soldiers. To distant lands went teachers, not conquerors. Buddhism traveled outward, not as command, but as invitation. Ashoka did not claim credit. He did not sign his name in grandeur. He called himself only Piyadashi, the one who looks upon others with kindness. The emperor who stepped back. There was no dramatic end, no assassination, no final battle, no fall from grace. Ashoka simply withdrew from spectacle, from ambition, from history's hunger for drama. Power moved on. The Mauryan Empire weakened. Other kings rose. Ashoka's name faded. For centuries, no one remembered the emperor who refused to conquer further. When stone began to speak again, long after palaces turned to dust, the pillars remained. Scholars puzzled over the inscriptions. Who was this king who spoke of mercy? Who ruled without threats? Who carved conscience into stone? Only later did the realization emerge. These were Ashoka's words. The lasting empire. Ashoka no longer ruled by fear, he ruled by conscience. His empire fell as all empires do, but his ideas crossed oceans and centuries. Empires fall, but ideas travel further than armies. And somewhere, in stone and silence, Ashoka still speaks.